Alright, we're out here getting some coon traps here. Got some unboiled and waxed coons there.
Just getting some for rats and raccoons.
There's some fox and coyote traps over there. Some Bridger number 2s. Alright, we'll get back to you in a little bit.
Well, we're setting coon traps out here today, and I forgot a hammer, so we're just going to pound it in with a rock, but there's an intersection here where everything comes to one point, and eventually everything will end up here if they're traveling across the farm. So I figured this would be a good place for raccoon traps, so I'm going to stick a DP here and a DP there, and one over there, so that way if they run the edge of the creek. So I'm going to set one there, and over there, just in case if they don't cross over into here. And I'm going to use these Duke dog proofs, and they're real nice. They're only for raccoons. They cost about $10–15 a piece. And what I like to use is mini marshmallows and some syrup. And the only thing you'll ever catch is raccoons. And I set one right here. But how you set it is, you squeeze these things back, and you put the dog right there. And there's a trigger mechanism right here, and you stick that dog right there at that trigger mechanism right there, and there's this little thing on the inside that they pull, and it'll pull the dog away, and right here the jaws will fly back and trap its hand. And now the only reason that you only catch a raccoon is because a cat and a dog won't be able to put their foot back in there to grab the thing. They won't be able to do anything else with it either, so.
Another reason is coons are the only ones that have opposable thumbs like ours.
Yeah, so that's the only reason why you'd catch a raccoon in this. Sometimes you'd catch a chipmunk if it decided to like crawl the whole inside. This is also another good way to catch weasels. Just get some wire tied around the trigger, get a little piece of rabbit meat and tie it around there, tie it around the wire, and the weasel will go inside, pull the meat, and it'll close down on the weasel. So it's another way to catch weasels. Are you videoing this? Alright. Forgot a hammer, like I said.
Yeah, we're in.
So I finally got this thing pounded in. I did forget my hammer, so I'd use this rock. But now it's in the ground, you just push it down in the ground there. Just make it stay. If you want to, put it at an angle so you can see the marshmallows. And then you're going to get the syrup, put most of it in, and then make a line back and forth so that way if they walk through here, they'll follow the syrup back to the main source, and they'll hopefully get stuck in the trap. But 99% chances if they stick their hand in there, they're going to get caught. Sometimes the triggers can freeze, but that's only on like extremely cold nights, so whenever they pull the trigger, they're basically done. Well, now that I just got both these DPs out, we'll go set somewhere else and we'll get back with you tomorrow. But I have a better chance now that I set 2 traps on either side. So if it comes this way, that way, that way, that way, that way, just through the middle of the field for some reason, he's eventually going to end up there or there. And we'll go set some more. Alright, we found this nice little creek to set at, and I'm planning on throwing a DP in here because pretty close to houses and I don't really want to catch anybody's cat. Then I might get kicked off the land. So I don't really want to lose this place. It looks really good. A couple coon tracks here.
Where?
Over there.
I'll show them what a coon track looks like. Right there.
Alright. And I'm going to wire this off real good. I get 16 gauge wire and I double it up so that way if it breaks one strand, it's not going to break the other, probably. Let's get a near tree. And wire this puppy off. Okay. And you got to wire it off to the trap real good. So that way, if he does get in it, you want to, might as well not even set the trap if you don't set it good. Because if you don't set it good, then it's got a chance of getting out, and this is an expensive trap, and you don't really want to lose it.
Or wound the animal.
Yeah, because if someone sees animal running around with a trap on its foot, it's not going to look good on us. So it only takes one person to ruin it for everybody. Stick it inside, circle around, cross the creek, right through there, so that way if they walk by, follow it back again. And that's how fast the DPs are. So yeah, we'll move on to our next spot and get back to it. Well, we were gonna set here, but it's a real nice place and they'd run the edge here. Same with fox and coyote. But if I was gonna set one here, I'd want to set it out there, because if you look, these little briar thingies, they'll get all through its fur, and those are a booger to get out. And while you're fleshing them, and if you didn't get one out and you nick it, it's gonna leave a pretty nice hole, and they're just all through here. So we're probably gonna go back in there, see if we can find any trails and set some. But this is a good place, except for this briar. This is exactly why we didn't set over there. They're all over me now that we walked through there to come back in here to reset. But we're gonna set right here at this log, and they'll run the outside of the creek.
You want to make sure the log you're setting on is really good and sturdy. Like it's not dry
this
rotted.
Like it might look a little bit dry rotted, but that's enough to hold a raccoon. And that's why you also want to check them in the morning, so that way if the log isn't that great, that you will be able to get there before the log busts and the animal is loose. Again, it's not your animal loss and your trap loss. If someone sees that raccoon or whatever you caught running around with a trap on its foot, it's not going to be good for the trappers. Now you're going to wire it good, like as if somehow a coyote would get in here. If you got a coyote, you want to make sure it would hold. I mean, obviously you're not going to get a coyote in this because it's only for raccoons, but wire it off like as if this is for a coyote set. And just shove it right there along one of their trails and a deer trail. Get some syrup and marshmallows, and do the same as all the other ones. And this is a good location, so plan to catch something in the morning. But is it rolling? This is why I do not like these stupid little boogers. They're all over me. Well, we're setting some more traps here, and I found another good spot. We're along a trail, and it looks like a real nice spot here. I've yet to set any traps here, so I don't know in this general area how it's gonna do, but it's already filled with marshmallows. One circle around, across and across, and that's enough. You'll go through a lot of syrup and marshmallows fast, but it'll work and it'll get you right. Well, I'm here again with my last trap of the day, and I don't know if the camera can see it, but there's this real nice trail that goes through there. And if it was a deer trail, all this stuff would have got knocked down by now. So I know that some type of animal like a raccoon or a possum or a skunk or something's using it really hard. And it's going down low, so that way there's grass underneath of it, so they're kind of going through like a tunnel. So if it was deer, they'd knock that grass down. So it's not deer. So it's going to be raccoon or something. And if it is raccoon, I have a dog proof here to catch only raccoons. And this is my last trap of the day. Well, these are, I lied about these traps, I guess. These are dog-proof traps, only raccoons can get in them. Well, apparently raccoons aren't the only thing that can get in them, and I have done the impossible and caught a possum in one. Now, this is the first case I've heard about, but you know what? Whatever. I use these enough, I probably should catch a possum in one eventually, but not a bad possum, I'll take it. What are you gonna do? So, yeah, basically I caught a possum in a dog-proof trap, and I won't complain about it, but I don't think it's really too much of a good thing, so yeah. And that's all I've caught for the last 2 days is this possum. But what my goal is, I walked up to two of my traps probably about 20 feet from each other, and the dog-proof, this part right here, you shove in the ground so that way like it won't fall over and the marshmallows fall out. Well, I caught one that must have been too little and somebody let go. Well, it grew smart to these traps. It pulled it out of the ground, dumped all the marshmallows out, and just let it there and ate the marshmallows. Now, what I'm going to try and do is use a box trap, more of these, and some footholds to try and catch this thing. If that doesn't work, I'm going to try and use some cable restraints. But that's my goal, and I'll show you if I catch this coon in the next week or two. And if I don't catch him, then I'm gonna keep trying. But the odds aren't looking too good. But he's down here in this area, so I'm gonna try my hardest to catch him. And today's catch, a possum.